Hello and welcome back once more to Grind Slime TV with me, your host Aaron, for part 8 of my Aaron's Top 50 albums. Now, a couple of these I've already done videos on, so I'll be a bit quicker with those ones. But then I made sure I got 3 other ones out that I've definitely not done videos on these ones. So, all good there. So, first up, let's get it going. I did a proper video on this not long ago, so if you want a more in-depth idea of how my brain works on it, feel free to go find that one. And the same with the next one I'll be showing you. But I can't leave them out of my top 50 just because I've already done videos on them. Don't be absurd. So, get a load of this. We're talking about Chainsaw Dismemberment by Mortician. Oh, look at that. 28 tracks of pure brutality and horror madness. Got that gatefold action going on that you know old Aaron loves. Look at all those lyrics. You've got the boys there, all doing their thing. Old Deza, old Willa, and old Roger. Oh yes. This double LP is they both look like this with the blue splatter thing going on. Got a bit of red in there as well, you know, your blood colours. And blue if for blood if you're a royal. Oh yeah. Did you get that reference? Let me know in the comments if you did. Let me know how truly British you are. And if you're not, tell me how cultured you are. So we've got all that going on. Now I love this band, I love this record, and I get why people don't like Mortician. Trust me, I'm not deaf, you know, and I'm not silly either. You know, people could say they're a one-trick pony, they've got one formula, there's loads of samples, all the songs sound the same, fine. But for me, when I listen to these, I have a fun time every time. And because I listen to it so much, I'm able to sort of, not, if I stuck it on random without the samples, maybe I'd have a bit more trouble identifying the tracks immediately, which probably says a lot. So, you know, that's why I do agree with people when they have their negative opinions on this band. But for me, that's just half the fun. And but after a while, you know, I'll be listening to it and be like, oh yeah, that's Barbarian or something, you know, but that hasn't got a sample anyway. So, you know, but Mortician's Chainsaw Dismemberment for me is, I mean, it would be between this and Hacked Up for Barbecue for my favourite full length. But I think this just edges it past a little bit. My favourite Mortician release altogether is actually House by the Cemetery, which the extended edition as well, because that has the Procreation of the Wicked cover on it, which in my last video you'll find it as my favourite Celtic Frost song. But this doesn't have any covers, it's all absolutely original gear, and for me it just doesn't outstay its welcome. And when it ends on that Phantasm sample, a little part of me just goes, no, it's over. So it's like, well, start it again then. Absolutely love it. So Mortician, Chainsaw Dismemberment, absolutely top banana. And the next record. But again, I've done a video on this, you can go back and find it, blah, 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 blah. And of course, we're making it happen. Goat Lord, Reflections of the Solstice. I adore this album because, as a lot of you will know, I am a drum machine man. And this has that drum machine sound that I love. Got Ace there, rest in peace, who was the original vocalist. I said in my last video about this that he wasn't. That was my mistake, and I was corrected, quite rightly so as well. And I was corrected politely, which, you know, always nice when that happens. You get a lot of arseholes these days in the comment sections, or as I like to call it, the how can I make this all about me section. But yeah, absolute classic stuff. Yes, there's some controversy behind this because their guitarist Joe Franklin was an absolute piece of shit, and he's dead now. But there's no rest in peace for him. He was a child murderer and whatnot. But that event that happened much later after this has nothing to do with this record. So anybody who wants to get on their high horse and pray down their moral high ground, well, who died and made you the fucking figure of virtue, you mug? As That's my opinion on that. Made me brush fall over and everything. Ooh. But yeah, I mean, look at that logo. I think that's my favourite Goat Lord logo. I think that looks banging. But then again, actually, I really like the one on the original artwork as well. Oh, look at that. And look at this original artwork. Chris Martin classic. He's chewing his bone. Ooh, yes. Or is he playing the flute? Who knows? But absolutely wicked. I love it. Yeah, actually, now I look at it, I think that's the better logo. Oh, I don't know. Because they're all good. I love the crazy one. I love the one with the devil face. And I love this one too. And they've also, and these aren't the only logos they've got. They've got plenty of other ones that I've seen knocking about. And but absolute darkness and evil, as Justin Horville would say, all over this record. I absolutely love this. I mean, this isn't, every time I put this on, it sounds like you're in a crypt and there's some sort of dark ritual going on and there's dust and cobwebs everywhere and you're just like, oh man, the ayahuasca's kicking in and I'm not sure we should be here. But that Chris Moyen artwork, just absolutely fantastic. Like my boy Stein from, what's his fucking podcast called? Oh mate, it's completely slipped out of my head there. Shit. The Greyhorn Pagans. That was it. Yeah, he looked at this and he said it's like a black metal Thor, and he absolutely loved it. So he's clearly a man of taste. Yeah, Greyhorn Pagans. I told you before, didn't I? As soon as the camera starts rolling and I'm concentrating on something else, I can't remember dick. But yeah, it's got the backing vocals by Mitch Harris from Napalm Death fame and whatnot, which is really, really cool. And that's on 3 of the songs, because if I remember rightly, he recorded a whole bunch of the vocals and then they just sort of like edited it back down again. And yeah, it's quite a confusing story. But either way, you got backing vocals by Mitch Harris. But this is a really cool album. It's very unique. There's nothing else that sounds like it. Other bands have done really cool covers, like Ossuary, for example. They did a cover of Chicken Dance, which is really, really good. I really recommend Ossuary as well. They've got a new album out. I'm yet to check it out, but I've got both of their first EPs and I've got their 7-inch, and they're all really good. So I will be getting that new album for sure. But until then, Goat Lord gets spun many a time a year, and for good reason. It's just absolute darkness and dingy and mystical and just really good to do drugs to, if I'm being honest with you. And I think that might have been the point. But great album, absolute classic. Fuck the haters, because who cares about them, right? Now, on to the other ones. Now, this next one, yes, it's a double album, but we're only focusing on the one today. That's not to say the other one isn't a good album, because it's an absolute masterpiece and a classic and a staple in death metal history. But I'm talking about the first album, and we are talking about Obituary, Slowly We Rot. Fuck me, damn, what an album. I've been a huge fan of this album for years and years and years, mate. Now, what's a little funny story about this little particular CD is that I first bought this. When did this double album come out? 2003. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And then years later, in one of my other videos, I mentioned that one of my cats was ill. So, and we needed to buy like medicine and stuff like that, and that shit's expensive. So I sold a shitload of CDs, and unfortunately, this was one of them. Now, unfortunately, also, little guy didn't make it, but it's what it is. I'd do it all over again. You know, he got an extra couple of months of life. My little buddy, rest in peace, Junior. Now, so sometime later, I was looking for this because I need to get this album again. I need to pick it up. And I don't think I got this. No, I didn't get this when it came out. I got it a couple of years afterwards. I remember when it came out. So I probably got it in 2005, 2006 or something, because I bought it second hand. It's the sticker on the front. But then years later, when I finally managed to buy the album again, I got sent the one that I sold them. So I sold it to Music Magpie, and I bought it again from World of Books, and it was the exact same copy I sold, sticker and all. So someone bought it, enjoyed it, sold it off again to another company, and your boy snatched it up. It came full circle. It's like, clearly it was meant to be. Absolutely. But let's talk about the album. You've got you've got 14 tracks on it because you've got a couple of demos on there. But the 12 main tracks on here, my oh my, all in standard tuning as well, and it's one of the heaviest albums. I don't care what anyone says. Like, that takes some good writing, and like I mentioned before, it's pure Celtic Frost worship. Just maybe slowed down a tad here and there, but it's still got that punkiness. It's still got that just straight up sort of power chord love and really cool solos. I mean, and there's not one song on here worth skipping. You know, I mean, they're all great, from the title track to Intoxicated, Suffocation. That's a heavy one. You know, and oh mate, they're all just really, really good. And I love John Tardy's vocals on these early recordings. His vocals aren't bad now, and I do actually like everything by Obituary. I don't own everything by him, but you know what I have heard, I've liked all of it. And maybe one day, if some of their stuff's a bit cheaper, I'll pick it up. But to be honest with you, you pick up something like this, you're good. You know what I mean? I mean, this is just two absolute masterpieces, but we're ignoring that one, remember? We're talking about that one. Now, don't know if you can see the artwork properly. It never really seems to do it on this bloody thing. But yeah, got a dead guy in the street. Oh, yeah. That sort of really cool, sort of dripping, slimy title. Just as far as in its first wave death metal, okay, this was like 1989 when this came out. And when I wasn't around then in the scene. I mean, I was born the year before. Do you know what I mean? But when I listened to everything that was coming out around that time, it's just like, mate, where do these bands get their ideas? And John Tardy's vocals are so unique as well. And what I really like about him is that he uses his voice as more of an instrument than anything else. Like, I don't think he considers himself a front man. He's just part of the band who makes his own sort of noises. And I think I remember reading somewhere that he was like, if it was up to him, he wouldn't have lyrics at all. He would just do like screams and growls and stuff every now and then just to add to the sort of feel. Because when you go through the lyrics, there's literally like some of the songs have like one paragraph, which is used up in the first minute, and then the rest of the song, for like 2.5 minutes, is just instrumental breaks, solos, and random screams and stuff. It's so cool. And I call it surfer metal because that's what they sound like. They just sound like a bunch of surfers. Like, yeah, you know, just like they got all that going on. So it's just an absolute belter of an album. The atmosphere on it. I mean, Internal Bleeding, when it comes in, it's just it's just, oh my. I mean, back then, even if you weren't into metal, we didn't know anything about metal, but you'd heard about this death metal thing that was going around. You'd hear that and be like, oh, I bet that's that death metal the kids are talking about. My God, is it good? So yes, Obituary, Slowly We Rock, cannot go wrong. I mean, I haven't got a bad word to say about the album. The production's perfect. You know, it's got that really raw kind of jamming session kind of sound. You know, like all those old analog recordings do. And those are the ones that I love. You know, I mean, you get a lot of these bands and they're like, oh, why do people want to record analog? It sounds like shit. It's like, yeah, that's the point, bro. It's, you know, and it doesn't sound like shit. It sounds awesome. It just sounds like you're getting the real band. I think a lot of these digital recordings now, and don't get me wrong, I record digitally because that's my only outlet I've got. You know, so I haven't really got much other choice. But you know, but there's like a limit, you know, to like messing around with stuff. In some of these bands now, you listen to them, and it's a bit like John McEntee said. It's like where everything's snapped to the grid. It's like, yeah, it sounds awesome. It's cool. You know, very talented. But for me, I like a bit of a human element to it. You know, I like to hear little cock ups here and there every now and then, and just be like, yeah, this is what the band sounds like. This is the art form in its most honest presentation. And Obituary Slowly We Rot is absolutely a testament to that death metal sound. And I absolutely love it. Cannot go wrong. So, moving on. Got a nice little noisy one here for you. Absolutely lovely stuff. This was the first album I heard by this band, so I know people are going to be like, no, that's not the best one. This one is me. Shut up. Get a load of this. We're talking Scum, Collapse, Eradication by Revenge. Absolute belter of an album. Now, when I first heard this, I thought, yeah, it's cool, but it all kind of like just bleeds together and it just sounds like one really long, noisy track. But again, the more you listen to it, it just gets better and better. I mean, Parasitic Gallows is probably my favourite song on the album. It has this really cool bit where it slows down. And then the riff comes in, and it's like, oh mate, it sounds like the apocalypse. And then it just pauses, and then bang comes in with this heavy as balls fucking. Oh, my, absolutely ridiculous. And also the track Banner Degradation as well. Really, really cool. And the closing track, Scorn Detractor, it's got a really nice upbeat punky feel to it. So you really do start. And the opener as well, Us and Them. And that's what his frantic Kerry King style solos, and just it goes to show how much you can do with very minimal riffs, and the drumming is perfect. You all know how Aaron loves his frantic drumming, where there's no real kind of it doesn't feel like there's any real structure, but when you really concentrate, it's like, oh yeah, there it is. You know, like Last Days of Humanity's Later Gear, Disgorge from California, Suffocation, you know, just that crazy fret all over the place, just blast beats, feel, cymbals going mental, more blast beats, do a little skank beat, now back to the blast beats, and now it's a hammer blast, and now it's a fucking, and it's just all over the place. But when you sit there and you really take time to appreciate it, my word. And they've got this really cool theme where all their sort of albums have this sort of black and white kind of symbol thing going on. Really, really cool. There's the main dude behind it all, and this is Jay Reed. Is it Jay Reed? I always forget. I always get confused between him and R. Foster because they were both in Conqueror. But that's for another day. But yeah, you know, they don't really post a lot of lyrics. You get like the odd couple of lines here and there, but for the most part, it's just listening to the dude scream. Yeah, it's definitely Jay Reed. Definitely screaming and drumming and whatnot, and it's just absolute mayhem. Just really grindy black metal that knows when to slow down and get sludgy. And like I say, this was the first record of theirs I heard, and it was the first one I sort of had to sit down and really go, right, do I like this? I mean, it's cool and it's frantic, but is there anything there? So I really spent a lot of time getting acquainted with this, and I'm so glad I did, because once you start picking up those little nuances, there's something there, and you're like, hold on, this is a bit bloody special, isn't it? And it really is. I mean, you've got 8 fantastic tracks there. Every one of them is an absolute banger. And I have got another one of their releases. I've got their I'm terrible with bloody names. What is it? Yeah, I can't remember. But it's another 3 words they thrown together. Something. And let me have a bloody look. It's right there. Behold Total Rejection. That's it. That's the other one I've got. I got the big old box set, but the Die Hard edition. It's got the flag and everything. You can see the flag up above my head. It's a Total Rejection on it, which should have been a bit of a giveaway, but I thought 2 words. That ain't the Revenge, I know. And you all know what I'm like, song titles and album titles and member names. Ugh. I'm here for the tunes, you know what I mean? But yeah, nothing but respect for Revenge. And if you haven't heard Revenge, I absolutely recommend doing so. In fact, a really cool place to start with Revenge would probably be their split with Black Witchery, another really cool band, as you can see there. There's their poster. But also check out Conqueror and their album War Cult Supremacy. Oh, talk about good stuff. Good stuff. So, make that happen. Revenge. Black metal like you've never heard before. Absolute evilness. And speaking of black metal and evilness, let's get to it. We're talking about Strength and Honor by Satanic Warmaster. Phenomenal stuff. I mean, the recording is really, really rough. We're talking demo style, so I'm all about that. You know that. You know, old Uncle Aaron likes the demo styles. You know, the hi hats are in the forefront. You've got these really, really sort of aggressive Celtic frost style riffs. That's very sort of that sort of drumming, but it's got those really cool synths in there as well. When it slows down and it brings, you get that really classic sort of old school black metal feel to it. So it's that's really, really cool, haunting atmosphere. And there's the two boys there. Werewolf's the main guy, and he also runs Werewolf Records. Really, really good label. They've got some great stuff out of Finland, these guys. So they got a lot of other Finnish black metal bands on their label. You know, like your Goat Moons, your Vargravs, mate, just Faustian Pact, among many others. Morkaida, I think they're pronounced. I'm not entirely sure. I've got their EP. It's fantastic, but you know, you've got some lyrics going on in here, look, which is always nice. And this was a reissue from a few years back because, mate, this was out of print for years. So I had to listen to it on YouTube all the bloody time. But then when it finally came out on reissue, a mate bought it for me. And I was very happy. I think it was 2020 this reissue came out. I can't quite remember. But yeah, but trying to buy a copy of it otherwise it's like 150 quid. It's like, oh man, naughty. But yeah, very, very pleased to have this in my collection. And it gets spun many a time. If you like your old school black metal, there is absolutely no reason you won't like this. And Werewolf's vocals on it are very, very sickly, very much from the throat and stomach. You know, he belts it out. He sounds like he's in pain. But it's just, it's like I say, it's heavy, it's atmospheric, it's aggressive, and it's a much like Transylvanian Hunger. It's ugly as fuck on first appearance, but once you get to know it, it has a beauty about it that words cannot describe. Okay? There's a lot of controversy behind this band because everyone says they're fascists, even though all of his songs are about like medieval shit and forests and fucking werewolves and vampires, but that makes him a Nazi apparently. I don't give a fuck. You know, even if he is, who cares? I ain't got to be mates with him. I just got to spin this bad boy and love it, which I do, which is why it's in the top 50. Oh, Strength and Honor, Satanic Warmaster. And that's one of the coolest band names ever, if I'm being totally honest with you. I mean, fuck, Satanic Warmaster. It's like, yeah, mate, I'm in. Where do I sign? So that's it today for my top 50. We'll come back tomorrow for part 9, and then the day after that, the final part. And I'll be honest with you, I cannot wait to get this list finished because it takes it out of me. There won't be any lists for a long time afterwards. So, thanks for tuning in. Support the underground, and don't go swimming in shark-infested waters. Shark attacks aren't on the rise. Idiot swimming in shark-infested waters is on the rise. So, you know, no one's walking through the woods and getting attacked by a shark. Okay? So it's not like they left the bar and a gang of them got them in the car park. No. You go in their house, they'll get you. So don't be stupid. Keep it up. And